Hey there, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new Genie Plus that Disneyland just released recently, a couple weeks ago. And our family happened to be at Disneyland the week Genie Plus was released. So today I'm going to give you a little breakdown of how it works, how to download it, how to use it for a large family. We have 5 kids, so our family is 7. Went to Disneyland for 5 days, and we used the Genie Plus on one of those days. So on Wednesday of that week, December 2021, it was released, and we used it on that Friday. And so today we're going to be talking all about the Genie Plus, how to download it, how to use it, and was it worth it? So stick around. All right, the first thing you're going to want to do is go into your Play Store and download the Disneyland app. And once you've done that, you're going to open the app. And the first thing you need to do is create your profile and link your tickets. So the Disneyland tickets you've purchased, you need to have linked in your Disneyland app. You can do that by clicking on tickets and passes, or go to your profile, and when you're setting up your profile, there's an option to link your tickets there. When you click on tickets and passes, you'll be able to scan your ticket and link it here. Then you're going to head back to the main menu and click on My Genie Day. And under My Day, you're going to be looking for the Genie Plus information and click on Get Started Now. Then you'll click on the days you'll be in the park and the members of your party. At this point, the Genie Plus information is going to pop up, and you can read all about what it includes and the cost, $20 per person per day. And then once you click that, now all your members are going to pop up on this window, and whether you've purchased your Genie Plus already with your ticket when you purchase your tickets, or if you're trying to buy it in the app, you cannot use it and utilize it until you have entered one of the parks and scanned your Disneyland ticket to get in. Once you have entered the park, you will be able to purchase the Genie Plus service for any or all of your guests right there on the app. Once we have purchased our tickets, we can now go in and make our first reservation. We wanted to go on Thunder Mountain, so it's only a couple minutes out. We're going to click on Book Experience. And then we all want to go on it, so we don't need to edit our party or anything. We just need to click Continue. And since we're already within the 5 minutes of the redeeming time, we can click Redeem and go up to the Lightning Lane area and scan our ticket. When you have multiple people in your party, you just swipe right to view each ticket and scan them at the Lightning Lane. So let's go see what this looks like at Thunder Mountain in the Lightning Lane. Even though the standby line said it was only 5 minutes, it was definitely longer than a 5-minute wait. The Disney cast members were so helpful. They showed us that it was off to the left, the Lightning Lane section. And then this cast member showed us how to insert it into the scanner. And you don't have to push it back or forth or anything. You can just swipe right, and it will scan each ticket, and then you're good to go. And here we are bypassing the standby lane. Our kids were so excited that they didn't have to wait in that line again. Also, don't forget, once you get to a good stopping point, or you're able to pull out your phone again and get back on the app, you're going to want to reserve your next attraction while you're waiting in this line to get on the ride. Since you can only book one attraction at a time, you're going to want to do it the minute you redeem that ticket. You're going to want to go in and reserve your next attraction. Once we stopped, Tyler went into the app to reserve our next ride, which we decided to do Smuggler's Run. It had a 45-minute standby wait, but the reservation was within 5 minutes. So we got that reserved, knowing that we would have an hour to use the reservation. We knew we would be able to get over to that ride by then, so we reserved it. He made that reservation quickly, and then we continued on to Thunder Mountain and getting on the ride. Go ahead, Sammy. I'll go with.
Daddy.
Are you ready? Here we go. Right, we did the Genie Plus for our very first ride was Thunder Mountain, and we were in and on and off the ride in 12 minutes, off the ride. So we bypassed the whole line. So you think it was worth it?
Yeah.
After we were done on Thunder Mountain, we headed over to Star Wars Land. Star Wars Land is so cool. The architecture is so fun to walk through. It feels like you're in one of the movies of Star Wars. Our kids loved the new Star Wars area. And we made our way over to Smuggler's Run since Tyler reserved that while we were waiting in line for Thunder Mountain. It was already time we could redeem the Smuggler's Run reservation. So we headed over there. The wait time for Smuggler's Run when we got there said 40 minutes, and we were able to walk right up and redeem our Genie Plus reservation. We walked right up to the Lightning Lane and scanned our tickets. It was only our second ride using the Genie Plus, and Tyler had already mastered the scanning of the tickets. Super easy. And then we continued on the ride and bypassed this crazy long 40-minute standby lane. There's the line.
I was going to say profitable. You think I'm so heartless I would send my friends into danger?
Look at this. That's so cool.
Right, pilot, push the flashing button to take off. Push the button, push it. Pilot on the left. Move your stick to fly right and left.
And here we are on Smuggler's Run with the kids. This is such a fun ride. I love how it's so interactive and you all work together to accomplish a mission. It's so fun to do with your big family. The only downside for us, we did have to split up into two because we are a family of 7 and this ride only seats 6. So we just divided up 3 and 4, which really works out great since several of our kids like to be the pilots and sit in those front 2 seats. So whoever wants to be a pilot gets to be a pilot, and our kids just love this ride. When we were waiting in line for Smuggler's Run, we made a reservation for another ride afterwards. And that's pretty much how we ran the rest of our day. We would just hop on attractions, and once we redeemed, we would hop on our phones and reserve another one. Another way you can reserve, aside from the list, is to click on the map at the bottom of your app and find different attractions that are close by you and click on the reservation that way. For instance, we clicked on the Buzz Lightyear ride, and you can see here a couple of us had already gone on it, and so it will show you who is eligible to go on a ride. If some of you choose to go on a ride, it will show you that reservation at that time. So just remember, you can only reserve each available ride one time per person on the day that you've purchased the Genie Plus service. It's a good idea to have everybody in your party who has a phone to download the app and be linked to your tickets, so that if you split up, anybody with a phone can make reservations and use those reservations. Here's an example of my husband taking just some of the kids on Splash Mountain. He's making the reservation, and this is how you reserve for not everybody in your party if you want to split up. It's really simple. You just edit the people that are going to go on the ride and click off of everybody and only click the ones that you want to go on that ride. And now your reservation is complete. The other members of your party can reserve a different ride if they want to. While you go on Space Mountain, you guys can split up, and it makes it really easy for anybody in your party to go on the rides they want to, or if they want to skip out on some, that's fine too. A few things to note in the app: it is so easy to scroll through and look at all the Disneyland attractions and check all the wait times. You can see which rides you can use the Genie Plus on. There are 12 attractions in Disneyland and 7 in California Adventure at the time of this video. It could always change. It's really easy to switch from one park to the next. Up at the top, you just click Change Park, and you'll be able to click over to California Adventure and reserve any rides and check out wait times over there. It's best to do the rides that don't have Genie Plus in between while you're waiting for one of your reservations if it has a longer wait. All right, let's sum up. Was it worth it? $20 per member of your family for the day. If you are going for 5 days, it is probably not worth it, actually, because you'll get everything in those 5 days. But we could have easily cut that time in half, say go 2 to 3 days. And if we had bought the Genie Plus app, it would totally have been worth it. We would have got all the rides done that we wanted to. We would have skipped all the long lines and done the lightning lane and been able to accomplish everything we wanted to that day. So if you're going for a shorter amount of time, you have a park hopper, definitely worth it. Covering 12 rides in Disneyland and 7 in California Adventure, you could probably get almost all of them done in that day. The only downside was that for Rise of the Resistance, it was an additional $20 or just $20 by itself. So if you are going and maybe you're going to be there 5 days and you just want to pay that $20 extra just to ride Rise of the Resistance, get through that line quick. When we were actually there, Web Slinger, Spider-Man, and Cars was $12 in addition per ride, go on those rides. Since then, I believe currently it is like $7 for those 2 rides additional. But keep in mind, of those 3 rides, Rise of the Resistance, Web Slingers, and Cars, you can only buy 2 a day per person. So you can't buy all 3 and hop on all 3 of those. You can only buy 2 and use 2 of those, and they only get you in one time for a lightning lane, which Rise of the Resistance can get long. One of the times we rode it, we waited 2 hours. Another time, we waited 30 minutes or less. We walked straight in, pretty much, and it just takes that long to walk through that line. So it just depends on your preference. So you can do that if you're going to be there for a longer period of time and you want to just skip those lanes. That's a good idea too. One downside, like Web Slingers, we waited for over an hour for Web Slingers. We were getting so close to the front, about to enter the doors, and the ride went down. They did not offer tickets to come back later to jump into the lightning lane, so that was a super bummer. Wasted over an hour trying to get on that ride. So sometimes it might be worth it. That probably would have been worth the money for us, but at the time it was $12, but $7 now per person to skip that line. That line gets really long and is always long. Cars though, however, I would highly recommend getting in that single rider lane. If you want that family photo of you all in the same car, okay, wait in the line. But if you just want to get on that ride it a few times, get in that singles line. We never waited over 5 minutes, our whole family walking through. Yes, most of us were 2-person in a car, front and back to fill in those seats, but most of the time you'll be in and out in like 10 minutes. So that makes the cars ride way shorter without paying a price. But if you want that family photo and you want to all be in that car to get that photo, then maybe you just want to throw the $7 at that ride for your family to all get on that ride. Other thing to keep in mind, you can only reserve each ride per person one time. So once we went on Thunder Mountain and we all reserved it and we all used the Fast Pass Lightning Lane, the Genie Plus, to get into there, we could no longer book that experience for the day. So that $20 is going to get you into those rides one time that day into that Lightning Lane. Some rides like Indiana Jones, you still got to wait. It pretty much gets you into that ride, kind of where you're entering into the experience is where the Lightning Lane Fast Pass area is. It kind of gets you past that outdoor long line of a wait. And then once you get into the building, sometimes you have to still wait. We waited about 10 to 15 minutes still in Indiana Jones because the line through the cave was still pretty long. So it doesn't get you right onto the ride right away on some of the rides. Some of the rides you still got to wait a bit. To also remember that there are other rides that you're probably going to want to go on. And as you're going through the park, be sure to be checking that wait time app and realize that those aren't always super accurate, but look at when they're the least busy on ones that you really, really want to go on and try to get in those lines and work that into your schedule, maybe in between when you have a reservation for one of the other rides that might take a while. For example, we wanted to go on Guardians of the Galaxy, and that was over in California Adventure. This is while we were at Disneyland, after we had already gone through an experience and we were able to reserve. But that wait, the first reservation we could make was 2 hours later for the Guardians of the Galaxy. And if we made that reservation, we could not go on anything else until we used it or 2 hours was up. So we kind of timed it to when we wanted to eat lunch. During that time, we booked the Guardians of the Galaxy. We had a 2-hour window till we could even check in. So we went and ate. We did some shopping in some of the shops and just walked around, did some of the fun stuff. And then we hopped on over to California Adventure, did a few like Turtle Talk with Crush and a few things that were over in that area until our window hit, and then we went on the ride. So just kind of remember, you're not going to be able to make other reservations if you're waiting a longer window. One of the biggest questions people might have is, if I have a park hopper, is it going to work for both? Do I have to buy $20 for the Disneyland rides, the 12 that are there, or do I have to buy a second one? Is it going to be $40? No, the $20 for the Genie Plus is tied to your ticket. So if your ticket is a park hopper, it can be used in both parks. You cannot start reserving a lane until you have checked in. It knows you're there. That's when you can start reserving tickets for the ride you want to go on. And you can only reserve one ride at a time. And until you scan that, or it's been 2 hours since you reserved it, you cannot reserve the next ride. The other tip is, once you make a reservation, you can actually redeem that reservation 5 minutes before the actual reservation time. So if your reservation time is 2 o'clock, you can go at 1:55 and redeem. You can click redeem on the app and then scan. So up to 5 minutes before. So I would say, if you're going for a short period, definitely invest in this. It was a little bit more for us, but if we had cut down the amount we had spent on the extra days, we still could have gotten all those rides in and everything we wanted to get in. So definitely look into it if you're planning to go for a short period, and it will really help you out. There are also a ton of different things that the Disneyland app, the Genie Plus, can do. It can help plan your day, can do all these fun things. You can put your interests in there. We didn't do that. We'd look at the map, we'd look at the list, look at what we wanted to go on. We'd click reserve on the ones that were like, definitely. And then just kind of plan our day based on where we were on the park. If there was a short line for something that didn't have the Genie Plus or a Fast Pass, then we would just simply pass that up and go on to the next thing we had a reservation for, grab some yummy food or do whatever until our next reservation was up, go watch the parade, do something fun. So overall, we had a really good experience with it. Highly recommend. The app only went out one time, and it was just before the fireworks. The app went down. It did not log. I went on Autopia with our younger kids. My husband went on Space Mountain with the older kids. We both had the reservations for that, but it did not log it. So mine said I could not make any more reservations because it did not, when I scanned it on my app, it did not register. So we went over and we were getting ready to watch the fireworks. neither of our apps would let us reserve anything for about a half an hour. And then it finally registered. Okay, they did go on that. And then it let us reserve, and we went into the Haunted Mansion one last time with the family. Because why not, right? Because we had the app, we could watch the fireworks, and then we headed right over there, went straight into the building. So that was pretty cool. But I do know the first day it was released, it went down like a lot. And I think it was just getting some bugs out there. So by the time you're watching this video, they've probably worked out all the kinks. If it does go down, it's probably going to be for a very short period. And lastly, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel. We would love to give you some more tips and tricks for taking your larger family to Disneyland. Please leave in the comments any type of thing you want to learn from us. We made our own shirts. I could teach you how to do that. We saved a lot of money. We know how to like pinch and save, and we were able to do some really cool things to help us save money. We stayed close to the park, so we saved money in that way and just got Ubers to the store once or twice. If you want to hear more about that, or if you want to hear more about wearing masks and how that all worked and when it's required. I made lanyards for the kids, and we loved them because you don't have to wear your mask all the time. So we take your mask off and it'd be hanging there, and then you can put it back on, and because certain rides require it and all that. So if you want to know more about that, if you want to know how to order food and never wait in line, all those fun things that we learned that we wish we had known more about until we got there and figured it out on our own, we'd be happy to share. So let us know if there's any tips or tricks you want to hear about, and we'd love to share. We hope you have an awesome day, and hopefully you get to Disney real soon, because it was a blast and it's a memory I think we will not forget for a long time. Okay, bye.